Hi, I'm Christine Marsilio. I'm a Master of Wine and I'm the head wine educator at Wine Folly. In the next few minutes, I'm going to give you the tools to better understand one of the world's most popular grape varieties, Chardonnay. Chardonnay is a bit like a chameleon. It changes a lot depending on where it's grown. And Chardonnay is happy to grow in many different climates, which means, guess what? There are many different styles of Chardonnay, and I'm sure there's one out there for you too. So what kind of flavors can we expect from Chardonnay? Well, if you grow Chardonnay in a cool climate, you're going to get those green apple and lemon fruit flavors. But if we grow Chardonnay in a warmer climate, then we're going to get more tropical fruit flavors like pineapple and peach. We also get other winemaking flavors, so flavors that come from the winemaking process. So we might get vanilla and smoke from oak aging, and we might find dairy aromas such as butter, Greek yogurt, or cream. And those come from something called malolactic fermentation, which is the conversion of a really sharp malic acid that's found in grape varieties into a lactic acid, the same acid that we find in milk products. Also, we can get some doughy, bready, and yeasty aromas coming through in our Chardonnay wines. And that's because often Chardonnay can be aged on the lees, which is another way of saying dead yeast cells. And that can give body, texture, but also flavor to our wine. Let's find out some of the places that Chardonnay is grown. The historic home of Chardonnay is Burgundy. In Burgundy, we actually find a number of different styles, from the really cool climate in Chablis that gives us those racy green apple and lemon flavors, all the way to the slightly warmer Côte d'Or, where we find places like Meursault, where we're going to find full-bodied, richer styles of Chardonnay that have butter and oaky flavors such as vanilla. We even have more tropical fruit flavors coming from the more southern area of Mâcon, or a specific area called Puy-Fouissé. Outside of Burgundy, of course, we can find amazing Chardonnay too. You can look in Limarí in Chile for some really racy, exceptional styles that have green apple and lots of refreshing acidity. You can go to Margaret River in Australia for some really riper fruit flavors and oaky flavors coming through. And of course, you can also go to California in places like Napa Valley and the Russian River Valley, where we get those riper fruit flavors, we have refreshing acidity, but we often find buttery, creamy, and oaky flavors like vanilla too. Why don't we try two to see where they're similar and different? So I've got two Chardonnays here today, one from Chablis in France, which is a cool climate, and one from the Russian River Valley, which is a warmer climate in comparison to Chablis. So let's take a look at these wines. They both have a kind of yellow color. However, the Chablis has a slight golden tint to the edge, and that's because it's actually a bit older. It's from 2017, whereas the Russian River Valley Chardonnay has more of a kind of pale yellow color, and that's because it's not that old, it's from 2019. Wow, the Chablis is all about this kind of green apple, ripe lemon. We definitely have this kind of oyster shell, saline smell coming through, and that's all because of this cool climate. We also, though, have that kind of Greek yogurt, almost like a creamy note, and that's because Chablis, the Chardonnay used in Chablis, undergoes malolactic fermentation, giving us that creamier kind of feel in the mouth, but also taste as well. Now, let's compare that to the nose of the Russian River Valley. Wow, immediately I can smell that the fruit's much riper. So we've got kind of peach, we've got a hint of pineapple, there's really ripe apple rather than kind of a green apple. And then there's something else there too. There's kind of this buttery, creamy flavor like we saw with the Chablis. And again, that's the malolactic fermentation. But we also have this amazing kind of subtle vanilla smell coming through as well. Kind of like a sweet spice. And that's because this wine has been aged in oak barrels. Let's give them a taste. Wow. The acidity in the Chablis is so high. It's really refreshing, really cleanses your palate. It'd be really amazing with some kind of creamy or fatty dishes. And that flavor of that saline kind of minerality, kind of oyster shell minerality really comes through on the palate. Let's see what the Russian River Valley has. In comparison, the Russian River Valley wine still has that nice line of acidity, has more body though, probably coming from the oak, but also the fact that it has a little bit more alcohol, which is what we would expect for grapes grown in a slightly warmer climate. So what should you eat with Chardonnay? Well, the great thing is that because Chardonnay is such a diverse grape variety, it can go with a huge variety of dishes. So for example, if we had something like that Chablis that has lots of acidity, then it would pair perfectly well with creamy dishes or creamy fish dishes. So you can imagine kind of mussels in a cream sauce would be really good, or sole meunier is a very classic pairing. And then if we have a fuller bodied style like the Russian River Chardonnay, that works really well with kind of meat such as chicken or turkey. So if you have like a roast turkey with mashed potatoes and gravy, excellent pairing. Hopefully you feel armed now with some more information to better understand Chardonnay and where to find the style of wine that you're going to enjoy. To learn more about Chardonnay or other grape varieties and regions, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Cheers!